My answer to that is when I went to go see the worship services and the location in Buford, it was a small hall, but they had it where it was a lot of the monks, I'm assuming they're called. They were all dressed in like a grayish white like suit or like gown, and they all had like shaved heads. They had no shoes allowed inside, so you could wear your socks or you can wear your house shoes that they had provided outside the door. I couldn't take a video of it because it was private, but they always have their practices on Saturday mornings and sometimes Saturday nights if they have like a traditional ritual that they do. What about you guys?
What I expected to see was different groups of monks in different robes, also different styles, practicing other religions. What I also saw was on top of the statues of Siddhartha, there was a bunch of fruits laid for them. So that's what I saw at the temple. Also, the services were very strict, so we really couldn't take pictures of their services nor record due to the fact of privacy. So we respected that from them.
What I was expecting to see was meditation of some kind, different forms of meditation. And at the service in Buford, we were able to see that. We weren't able to record it, but yeah.
It kind of related to my religion of shamanism, so I kind of had like a feel of it, of like the practices, and I did get goosebumps at the practice, just because it wasn't quiet. It sounded more like meditation, but they weren't meditating. They were also bowing a lot, and I feel like it was what I expected the most, and there wasn't any like distractions or outside noises. It was mainly focused on what they were doing and the practices. The practice wasn't in any English, so it was kind of also hard for me to understand it, but I knew that from the beginning.
My experience didn't match to my expectations due to the fact that, well, I'm a Catholic, so in my Catholic church, we normally pick an individual to go read a phrase from the Bible, and when I went in there, one, it was very difficult to understand due to the fact that there was no English services, and on top of that, it was just the masters, or whatever they call it, they only read from their Bible, so it was very strange to me to not see that as it was to my religion, but also very strange that, and as a Catholic, we normally take a sip of wine and whatever that little piece of thing is, and I didn't see that, so it was very different for me to experience that.
My expectations were met in that I was coming in thinking on the like ideas of Buddhism being peaceful, and at the worship center in Buford, there really was a peace in the air. Even out in like the natural environment of the center, it just felt like a very peaceful place.
What stood out was that when we went to go see the temple in Lawrenceville, there was 2 different buildings. One was like more for like the adults, so they can do the practices. And then the other building was like a little school for the little children that can learn the practices. And they were all cute running around. But of course, like we all had to respect their privacies and just to like make sure there was no distractions for the little kids. So that's what stood out to me the most in the worship services.
What stood out to me more was the location in Lawrenceville. There was a lot of sculptures that I saw that I really never saw back in my religion classes in high school. What I liked about the most was how they had us right at the entrance. There is a Siddhartha sculpture, and in the background, I think it's under the sculpture, there was a little bit of music playing. We have it recorded, but you really can't hear well. I also like how in the second building they had other sculptures with colorful sculptures, so you could see how they look better with, skin tone. And then of course up at the third building was another one filled with sculptures too, but my main one was the first one, so I liked that a lot. And at the end of the temple, there was a big sculpture full of elephants. I don't know what it was, but it was like a tall person. So that's what stood out to me the most.
Yeah, building on that, there was like 4 statues that were like 20, 25 feet tall. Which was a pretty, I don't know, crazy to see. But it was interesting to see the center in Lawrenceville as compared to the center in Buford, seeing the difference between different sects of Buddhism, one more focused on statues and imagery, and then one more focused on the actual practice itself.
The main takeaway for me was that I was learning something new about a different religion. I could kind of connect to it, just like the little like pieces that they do in the Buddhism religion and my religion too. So I felt like I kind of connected to it with it, and it was also good to see something different, especially like the statues, the buildings, and how everything is made in the temples.
What stood out to me most was also the same thing as her answer, was being introduced to something new. I never really paid attention to the Buddhism religion. I experienced a lot of new things, especially how they're more peaceful in the temple, unlike Catholics. Every 10 minutes we usually sing a song at the end, but these, they were more into peace and meditation. And what I liked about it was how they were really welcoming. Of course, we couldn't record anything due to the privacy, but I really had a good time experiencing something new with Buddhism in Lawrenceville.
Yeah, and same thing for me. New experience. Thankful that now I'm able to appreciate Buddhism more. Actually seeing it in action and seeing that like the peace that's talked about is actually experiential. Like you can actually experience it for yourself, and I think that's pretty cool.
Hey everybody, my name is Francisco and I'm with...
This is Benjamin Chu, and you can call me Ben.
So Ben practices Buddhism and I'm going to interview him with a couple questions. So Ben, my first question is, what days do you guys practice or pray Buddhism?
It usually depends, and sometimes we do pray to respect our ancestors or those who passed away for a long time ago, like my aunt who passed away, and we pray over there, and my grandpa and who is on my mom's side, and my grandma from my dad's side.
So do you pray at a temple or do you pray at home?
We pray at a temple, and we use the wooden sticks, basically a long stick, and you light it on fire, and you pray to each corner, and you flip some kind of like a wooden stones, and to see whether they're eating, or we put up some eating foods like some duck or some of their favorite food, and then we put, and once we put the food, we go pray one more time, then we throw the stones and see whether they're eaten. If it's like, I don't remember much, but it was like one face up, one face down. Usually they're happy or have eaten or not.
Okay. What's a little background about Buddhism?
Buddhism is about basically about praying to there's different kinds, like you could pray to the laughing Buddha, or to the known as, I do not know the English word for it, but there's a Chinese word called Guan Yang Yang, but it's basically the mother of God or something.
Okay.
So
Okay. My third question is, what is your favorite food that you guys eat when you celebrate Buddhism?
I would say chicken rice or duck rice, basically.
rice,
And
okay.
basically, we keep those food, and even though there's gonna be flies coming in, but we managed to cover the food. So it's not really that spoiled yet because we just make sure that they eat or something, because it's like praying to your undead ancestors or your grandpa or your grandma.
Sounds good. My fourth question is there anything that your religion can do or cannot do?
I would say, if you cannot do, I would say like you cannot point something, or you only have to palm with your finger right here, but not with your index finger, because that's disrespectful.
Okay. Is there anything else that your religion can do besides that? Like maybe break rules or celebrate other religions?
Always show respect no matter what. If they're praying, make sure show respect. Do not disturb them, because sometimes they need a silent prayer to see whether are they eating, or maybe they're happy enough, because sometimes they need to have a silent moment.